and that's really what I want people to know. There is an outcome. I have been lower than you could ever go. And today I'm not. My worst day sober is better than my best day loaded at any day, hands down.
Say that again for the people, Brittany.
My worst day sober is better than my best day loaded any day.
Yes.
Hands down.
And we are live. Hey, everybody, it's your two favorite punks and sissies on all of planet Earth. BB, I don't think they hear us when we say
all.
Bitch, I don't mean a city. I don't mean a state, a country, a continent. Bitch, I mean all of planet Earth. It might be the whole universe, but we'll settle for planet Earth right now.
Matter of fact, multiple universes.
This time. Look, we'll settle for planet Earth this time. But y'all, we have no idea what the fuck we're doing. I promise you we don't. I just got done telling my special guest dad, who is waiting right now in the wings to come on and talk to you guys. But what I will tell you is my name is Destin. It is not Dustin. I am your hostess with the mostest, as some people might say. But I am here with the most amazing storyteller on all of planet Earth as a co-host. Co-host, can you please tell these people who you are?
Hey, y'all, it's your boy BB. And the BB don't stand for bar or book. My story is original, ho.
Okay. He said the book is not borrowed. His story is his story. Yes. His story is his story. It is original. Yes. And you know what else is original?
What?
The special guest we got for today, girl. She is original and she got a story to tell. I promise you she does. And you know what? I'm just going to shut the fuck up for a second and go ahead and bring her on up. If I can hit the button right, girl. Special guest, can you please introduce yourself to these lovely people?
Hey, everybody. I'm Brittany. It's really nice to be here today. I'm super excited.
Yes, Brittany, we are so excited to have you here. For everyone listening, watching, wherever you are, please, if you have not already done so, pause this video right now, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button, give a 5-star rate, whatever platform you're lit, hit those buttons, okay, please. These two punks and sissies need help, okay? And that's one way you can give us the free help. For the free 99, all right? We need help. Anything that you do, I promise, pushes us further into that algorithm. And y'all, me and Brittany do know each other. We have worked, we actually worked a couple jobs together before.
Yeah.
We got some history there, and one day we'll get into it for y'all. This ain't the episode for that. But, you know, Brittany has a story to tell, and we like to use this platform to the best of our abilities to give people the opportunity to come on and share their story and talk about experiences that we cannot speak to. You know, me and BB have our own experiences from life, but there are so many things that we want to shine a light on, but I can't really discuss an experience that I've never been through myself. And so that's why Brittany's here today, and she's going to talk about it. And if you don't like it, oh well. You can just keep on scrolling to somebody else's podcast, even though it's not as good as this one. But no, we're going to go ahead and jump right on into the first segment, y'all. And that segment is called Weekly Obsessions.
Yes.
Y'all might be thinking, hold up, because previously the first segment of the show was called Ayo Miley, What's Good? BB punched me in the mouth, y'all. He said these episodes are getting too long. He said, you don't know how to shut the fuck up while we filming.
No.
And BB said, no, we can't do this, girl. No, I'm just kidding, y'all. But our episodes are getting really long, and so we're trying to maneuver that and navigate it. I know I'm a fucking yapper, okay? We get it. But we're going to kind of merge those two segments together. And so, Brittany, just with that change, just so you know, a weekly obsession, it can be something good going on with you, or it can just be something you're obsessed with. It's just a chance for us to give the people a little insight into who we are outside the podcast and who you are as a special guest, because they're going to hear your story, but that story is not all that you are. And so, BB, I'm just going to get started with you, girl. What you been obsessed with this week?
What I've been obsessed with this week has definitely been murder mysteries. So Kind of growing up like in a conservative household, religious household. It's like exposure to certain things we wasn't allowed to watch. But now, as stepping into my adulthood, I definitely been obsessed with murder mysteries. I love a good plot.
Ooh.
I love a good like surprise. So murder mysteries has definitely been my weekly obsession for sure.
Ooh, do you have one that's your favorite,
Um,
or one that you're watching right now, or something?
I don't really have a favorite, but it's definitely been the classic ones, the classic murder mysteries.
Okay, period. All right, murder mysteries. It's giving.
Yeah. And spooky season is coming up.
Girl.
So, yeah.
Spooky season.
Just in time for
Yes,
Halloween.
just in time for
Look,
Halloween.
Brittany, wait, yeah, because this one comes, y'all. This episode should come out on Halloween's Day.
Yeah.
Halloween's Day. So y'all
Which
go
is
watch
my
a good murder
favorite
mystery.
holiday.
Yes.
I was
we love-
gonna say, I'm pretty sure this is your holiday, girl.
Yes.
Yes.
We love spooky season.
Oh my god. Brittany, what have you been obsessed with?
So to piggyback off of BB, Halloween is my favorite holiday. I look forward to it every single year. My birthday is this month, October 19th. So Halloween has always been my
Ooh.
favorite.
She's a Libra too.
So BB, you got to check out the monster, the Ed Gein story that just dropped on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
It is so weird, but it is so good.
It's new, huh?
So I've been obsessed with.
It's new,
Huh?
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's new. I just started watching it 2 days
Okay.
ago. So it's very good though. It's very strange,
Ooh,
but it's
I love
very good.
strange.
And so that's what I'm obsessed with right now. I'm trying to watch all the horror stuff, all the little shows. Wayward is another good one on Netflix too.
Okay.
That one's pretty creepy, but it's very good. But that monster, that Ed Gein story, that is a weird ass show, but it is.
Yes,
very good.
Netflix has been doing their things with the monster series because Jeffrey Dahmer.
Come on.
Oh my god.
I know the Jeffrey Dahmer one was
It
so good. That's
was.
why I was looking forward to seeing Ed Gein. But it's really cool. It's really cool. You gotta check it out.
I will.
Period. Wait, because I thought I knew. Like when he started talking, I was like, I'm pretty sure Brittany loves Halloween. Don't you have like that tumbler cup that's like Nightmare Before Christmas or something?
No, you don't remember that at that job that we shall not talk about right now,
Okay.
that somebody stole it.
Okay, that's why I probably remember you had it, because it was such a big
Yes,
deal.
my Jack one. It was Jack from Nightmare Before Christmas.
So to whoever stole my girl's cup,
But
out
keep
there,
in mind, wait. Oh, go ahead, BB.
No,
You do your thing.
to whoever stole
Eat a
my
bitch
girl's
up.
cup, just know your mama a hoe.
It is. And
You
is.
will be
You don't
dealt
do that.
with.
She already probably being dealt with.
That's facts.
Yeah.
That's real facts. Oh, I can't wait to just talk off camera for a little bit. Oh my god. One day we'll do a story time. I may even bring Brittany back for that, just so we can have somebody corroborating my story to realize
no
that I
one
am
will
not a
believe
psycho. No one
swear.
will believe it. I promise
one.
you, no one would believe it. Because BB, it wasn't just like a Nightmare Before. Like it wasn't just like printed on. He was like a stick
No, he
figure
was in
inside the cup and everything. It was
Yes,
nice,
my
girl.
mom found it, and she was like, "Oh, she knows how much I love Tim Burton. It's not just Nightmare Before Christmas. I love all Tim Burton." But Jack, she's seen it. She got it from me. I love that freaking cup. Sure did. It's so.
I'm weak. Girl, that's rude. So for me though, I would say my weekly obsession, and I'll probably put his picture up on the screen right now. Infinite Coles. Infinite Coles is a musician that I just came across recently. I don't want to lie on him, but I think he's new-ish to the music game. But so his name is Infinite Coles, and apparently he is the son of Ghostface Killer from Wu-Tang Clan.
Okay.
Don't ask me nothing about no Wu-Tang, okay? That was, I think, before my generation. I don't really know nothing about it. It's no shade to them. I just don't know it. But there's a beef there. And this isn't really to highlight the beef. I'm just like kind of stating it, I guess. But his dad, Infinite Coles is very much a queer person. And his dad just does not fuck with that. And so I have seen many interviews at this point where, let me not lie, I have seen at least one solid interview where people are saying though that he kind of acts like his son doesn't even exist, like he won't acknowledge that he has that son and everything. And I went and watched the interview and I was like, oh, he definitely was trying to act like his son didn't exist, and they called him out on it. And they were like, no, don't you have another child that does music? And he was like, no, girl, yes you do. Just because you embarrassed that he a punk. But anyway, his music is really good. I'm super obsessed with his songs. Sweet Face Killer, which is like, because people were kind of like throw shots at him, like, oh, he's the son of Ghostface Killer, so oh, he's a punk, so we're gonna call him Sweet Face Killer. So he made a song called Sweet Face Killer out of it. And then he got a song called Dad and I, which is a song all about how like his dad doesn't support him. It's weird because it's one of those songs that's really sad but also catchy, and like you can dance to it, but it's really sad lyrics. I don't know, I kind of love that. Sia gives that vibe, right? Her lyrics are dark and scary and really sad, but her music is like upbeat typically, like
for sure.
And then he also has a song called BGM, which stands for Black Girl Magic. Anyway, we love Infinite Coles Down in this house now. He's definitely my weekly obsession. I have not stopped playing his music. So go check him out. But with that being said, I will say that, oh my God, we have come to the main part of the show, everyone, called Let's Talk About It. Let's talk about it, y'all. This is the main part of the show. Whatever the overarching theme is today. Now, listen, a bitch do got ADHD, so I'll do my best to stay on topic. We will see if that happens. But this is where it's going down, okay? We don't hold back on this segment. If you don't like what the girls got to say, fuck you. Go somewhere else. We already said that. Because disrespectfully, bitch, because we're not here to be nice. You know, we're nice people, but oftentimes the thing that we talk about, girl, they got to be said disrespectfully, because there's shit to look. People have so much going on in their everyday lives that people like to ignore. We don't ignore on this show. We shine little spotlights. We pick up the rug that you try to dust shit under, and we throw that bitch off to the curb. Okay, the rug doesn't exist over here. And so today, we do have something that's kind of difficult to talk about. So we really want to talk about overcoming addiction. So I'm not going to speak on her story too much, but I will say that Brittany had shared at least parts of her story with me previously when we worked together. And it was very inspiring. I know that people kind of make very light of drug addiction in the sense that they'll just say, we'll just stop doing the drugs and just stop this, that, and the third, but whatever. I don't think people wake up and really decide to be drug addicts. And so I really wanted to bring Brittany on to talk about her story. And I'll let her get into all the details and where she's at today and all that. So Brittany, I'm going to kind of pivot to you a little bit.
Okay.
And I think I just want you to start with lay the foundation for the people. How did you even come into a heavy drug addiction? What was your drug of choice? All this, and just whatever you're comfortable sharing, because I know that it's a lot. It's a lot. So just whatever you're comfortable sharing with us.
Okay. So yes, I have been clean now for, I think April will be, and I'm not one of those people that keep a time. Like I've been clean since September 3rd of 2000. I don't know. I just never did that. But I've been clean. April will make 8 years that I've been sober. So I'm super excited about that. I feel like it's been 7 years for so long, and I finally now get to say 8. But I'm super proud about that. And so my drug addiction started when I was very young. I grew up in a typical household, I guess you would say. My mom's kind of crazy, but that's a whole nother podcast for a whole nother day.
Shout out Miss Lisa, girl.
Shout out Lisa. But really typical childhood. I mean, we went on vacations, we did things. I never knew my biological father. He died when I was 8, actually. He was killed behind drugs. And so I met my stepdad when I was 7. And I never knew my father beforehand, so it wasn't a huge deal to me. And I got blessed with 2 little sisters, and, you know, we was raised up together and everything. So, I mean, it was fine. I was born and raised on the West Bank. When I was 12, for a period of time, we had moved to St. Tammany Parish on the North Shore, Slidell. And when I first moved up here, I had got a really good friend, like one of my first good friends, like not just like somebody that comes sleeps over here and there, but like my real first best friend, And I loved her, and we were very close, and we hung out every day. I went to her house all the time. And I think that people have this misunderstanding that if you turn into an addict or if you become a drug addict, it's because, your childhood was horrible or this happened or that happened. My childhood wasn't horrible. I had one horrible instance happen that totally derailed my whole future. And is the reason why I began to experiment with drugs in the first place. My best friend, I would spend a lot of time at her house, and I loved her family. And one day I found out that her aunt was moving in, which was fine, but they were just talking about it and where that aunt was going to stay. It was going to be in her little brother's room. So they were rearranging things. So we were aware of what was happening. And so after the aunt moved in, her boyfriend moved in with her. And this particular man, and I will say his name is Michael Allen Stubblefield, and he is from St. Tammany Parish.
Come on, Michael Allen. Get ready, girl.
Yes. So I don't have shame from any of my story. I have worked through all of that.
Period.
I really do believe that God puts you through things because you are supposed to help someone else in this life. So there is no shame for me when it comes to anything that has transpired in my life. But when that gentleman, or that man, I should say, moved in with that family, he assaulted me sexually. It happened 4 times before my mom found out about it and everything. And so that put me on a different path. When it came out, me today and me then are 2 different people. Obviously, I was a child as well. But I don't know. At the moment, I don't know why I didn't speak up sooner or say anything. I mean, I have the reasons now as I'm older to look back and see that's why. But I was very shameful. I was very, I felt disgusted. I felt nasty. I didn't want anyone to know. And so when it was found out, obviously he was arrested and different things. And to touch on to that a little bit, I was like the 20th case of child sexual. Yeah. And so
for that person specifically?
For 20 separate people. One of the girls had gotten pregnant.
What?
And come to find out, his father was a cop for St. Tammany Parish. And so he got 5 years for me, and he did about 3, I guess, and then got out. He's with someone, he's around children. It's craziness. But besides the point, when all of that came out into the open, that is how I felt as that little girl. I felt ashamed. I felt disgusting. I felt embarrassed. I didn't want my grandma and grandpa to know this. I didn't want, my family to know this. I didn't want my friends to know this. I didn't want people at school to know this. You do feel ashamed, even though you shouldn't be. You're the child in the situation. But that absolutely is what determined my drug use from that point forward. I was depressed. I started to self-harm. I didn't know how to deal with all of the emotions that I had at such a young age. There were such big emotions. There were such big things, grown-up things that my little brain just couldn't comprehend. And so the first time I decided to experiment with drugs, smoking weed or taking pills or whatever, drinking, I felt better. And so to me, it was like, okay, well, I can be depressed and I can, cut myself and I can do these things to my own self, or I can do this little bit of something and feel a hell of a lot better and not worry about what people are thinking of me and not have all those thoughts. So that is where it started. And my mom did try to intervene. I mean, I was sent to different places. I got counseling, I got group counseling, I got different things, but it just wasn't enough for me at that time. I don't know, and so I still wasn't coping correctly. And then I would, you graduate to bigger things. So first, I'll never say weed is a gateway drug. I don't believe that. But of course, first is always like weed, alcohol, pills.
Right.
But then, I snorted Coke for the first time. And then Molly came out and I did Molly for the first time. And you start graduating into these bigger drugs. And I always say, it's curiosity killed the cat, because when you find that one, and I don't mean that one in a positive light, I mean that one in the most horrendous way possible. But when you find that one that takes a hold of you, you're stuck. So I tried all these different things and nothing ever kept me. I'd use it and I would move on to the next thing. Well, when I was 17, a friend of mine and I, we lied. A family member of hers was on drugs and we knew who he would get it from. And so we went to that person and we said, hey, so-and-so is really sick and he sent us here to buy this. And I will say my drug of choice was heroin. So this initial situation that happened way back in the day, because now there's only fentanyl. I don't even think there is real heroin on the street anymore. But back in the day, for $20, you could get this little amount, this little foil. And so we went to him with $20 and we got the little foil and we went home and we split it. And it's such a minuscule amount of drug. Literally, it's like you barely even have, it's like a bump, like you barely even have enough to snort. But that tiny little bit of drug gave me the best feeling I've ever felt in my whole entire life.
Oh, wow.
So she never tried it again. She was one and done, and I was hooked. And I couldn't put it down. From that moment. It was my one. I thought, ding, that light bulb went off. And this was the one. This is the one that made me numb. This is the one that didn't make me fake. This is the one that, all the inhibitions and everything are gone. You're not nervous anymore. You're not, you don't feel bad for the way that things have happened to you. All of these things, it just completely goes away. And so I started to do it, maybe every 2 or 3 days. And then it became every other day. And then it became every day. And then all of a sudden you turn around and you are in a full-blown addiction. And you think to yourself, because I remember waking up one morning and I was like, I'm not going to do that anymore. And to myself, I thought like, okay, well, I just stopped doing it and everything's fine. But I got sick. And I didn't understand that I was sick. A friend of mine was like, well, I bet you if you got some dope, you feel better. And I just tested the theory. And sure enough, I felt completely fucking fine. But I was sick as a dog, So then you get trapped in this cycle. And then the cycle of being an addict pulls you down even more. When you first become an addict, it's not that expensive. You're spending a little bit of money here and there. But as the time goes on, you're spending every penny. You're not able to pay your bills. You're not able to put gas in your car. You can't buy cigarettes. You're not eating. Every single dollar that you make is going towards this only thing. And it really does suck you up. It sucks you completely under. You turn into this person that you would never expect that you would be. You do things that you would never expect yourself to do to get that money, to get that high. And then you're putting yourself through more trauma. So you've already had these traumas. You've come from this trauma. And now you're putting yourself through more traumas, sexual traumas, getting yourself beat up or getting robbed or, any and everything else that comes along with it. And it's such a strong hold. It's such a devil. It just doesn't let you go. And it's even in the moment when you're sitting there and you're like, I want to be better and I want to be clean and I want to do all these things. You're also terrified because, mind you, I started doing drugs when I was 12 years old. So I never felt depression. I never felt anxiety when drugs came into my life. So I've never dealt with any of those emotions. Now, after giving myself, or having even more traumas happen to me throughout my addiction, now I'm expected to cold turkey just stop and have all of that flood onto me at one time. And I can't handle anything, let alone everything. So you get put in this very mundane type of life. And you, like I said, I don't have shame to talk about where I came from. And I don't, but I did, because of the situations that I put myself in, I did become a victim of more sexual traumas. I did become a victim of so many other things. And that depression and that weight of all of that piled up on you, it's just too much to take sometimes. I remember throughout all of this, I had gotten clean for short periods, short stints. Not completely clean, but off of heroin for short stints. And I ended up getting pregnant with my very first child. And it was the best day of my life. And I struggled that whole pregnancy staying sober. And I never understood that because I wanted him so much. And I wanted to be his mom so badly. And I couldn't understand why I was allowing these other things to interfere with that. Because I loved him more than anything in this world.
Before he was even here, huh?
Before he was even here, the moment I found out. The moment I peed on that damn stick, you know? And it just sucks because even after I had him, I fell back into my addiction. And I would sit at night, y'all, and I would hold my son's hand through his crib, and I would cry, and I would pray, and I would beg God, take the taste from my tongue, take the desire from my heart. Lord, please let me be sober for this boy. I love him so much, and I still didn't do it. My mother got custody of my child 10 days after he turned 2, and she has raised him ever since. He just made 12. He is a big part of my life now, but he is not what got me sober. And that's why I hate when people will say, oh, it's just a choice, you can stop. Or, oh, if you love your kids enough, you'll put it down. I loved my kid enough, but I still couldn't put it down. And it's not because that was more important than him. It's because of the hold it truly has on you. I went back into my addiction, and Bryson, my son's name is Bryson. I went back into my addiction, and Bryson flourished with my mother. And I was very selfish in those first, couple years after she got him of life, because, a drug addict mentality is, well, I'll just stay away. He'll have a great life with her, and I'll just stay away.
He'll be better without me.
He'll be better without me. And that is never true. That is never true. But it took me years to finally get myself together. And as crazy as it sounds, I ended up going to prison. I did 20 months. And when I got out of prison, I went into a halfway house, and I was there for a little while, about maybe 4 or 5 months in Baton Rouge. And I had met my youngest son's father through Facebook, and, just getting out of prison and everything. I really just wanted to sleep with somebody, y'all.
Come on.
Nothing wrong with
it. She said a bitch ain't had dick in a minute. It's time to hop on, girl.
But it turned out to be that he was an addict, just like I was an addict, and we was both just weak. And we pulled each other down again. So I ended up, crazy enough, a couple of weeks before I decided to finally get sober, I kept thinking about different ways I could do certain things, to get myself out of the situation that I was in. And it sounds crazy, but I ended up overdosing on a drug that I didn't do. I was with another friend of mine, and I thought we were about to do dope, and come to find out it was meth. And I had never done that in my life. So when I used intravenously, so I used a needle. So when I shot that drug up and I felt that feeling, because it's instant, I was like, oh my God, what did I do? So
this is not what I normally do, right?
No. So in me being, I'm anxiety ridden already. I called 911. So,
hey, good thing you did. You said you overdosed.
I swear to God, y'all, I called 911, and the ambulance came, got me, and took me to the hospital. And I was so embarrassed. And I mean, I had been embarrassed so many other times before, so this is not anything different. But I had, marks all up my arms, and I was so skinny, and I just looked like a drug addict. Yeah. And I was with, that guy, and he looked like a drug addict, and my friend who looked like a drug addict. And I remember the man came in and he handed me like pamphlets for help. And I looked at that guy and my son's father and my friend, and I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. And right then and there at that hospital, I decided that I was going to go home and get sober. I went home. I stayed home from work for 2 weeks. I detoxed in my bed, which is very difficult at home. At home. So it was very difficult and it was very hard, but I just had this determination and I don't even know where it came from. And about maybe 2 weeks into this, it was Mother's Day. And my youngest son's father said, well, why don't we go get something to eat? We went and ate hibachi. And on the way back, he said, I think you're pregnant. And I said, I'm not pregnant. Just as a little pretense, I could never have kids. My first child was my miracle. They told me I would never have children. So I really thought I was one and done, y'all, okay?
He's like, okay, girl, I'm pregnant, whatever you say.
So I'm like, there's no way, right? I'm not pregnant. So we buy these pregnancy tests. He bought the pregnancy test because I refused to spend my money on it. But he bought the pregnancy test and we went back to the house. And sure enough, on Mother's Day, I found out I was pregnant. And I said, well, that was God. I felt like God made me really stop doing these drugs. I really had detoxed and now I'm pregnant. This was my second chance at life. And when I was 4 months pregnant, I left and I never looked back. And that's where my sobriety journey began, you know? But yeah, I don't know. I think I've met a lot of different people throughout my life since I've been clean, going to different restaurants and having waitress or a waiter that is under the influence, or, you know, when I was first getting all my court stuff taken care of, you know, running into people who were outside, who were under the influence and things like that. And in the beginning of my sobriety, I used to really struggle with the things that I've went through in life. I have, you know, I've been a victim of abuse, of sexual abuse, of so many things. And that's a whole nother podcast too. But it's so many things. I used to always ask God, like, why does everything happen to one person? And some people go through life and nothing happens to them.
With nothing.
You know? And I never understood that. And so I struggled in the beginning. I also struggled with my faith, y'all. I'm not gonna lie to you. In my addiction,
how could you not?
Well, I mean, I struggled with it for so many reasons, but in my addiction, I struggled with everything I did that was sinful. So when I became clean, I would sit outside for hours, y'all, and I would pray, like obsessively pray for God to forgive me for the actions that I did, for the things I did to my body, for so many things that I did, because I just want to go to heaven. And it really did take it. It was so many things, y'all, and it's just so much that you have to relearn, so many things you have to walk through, so many things that have to happen in order for you to really turn that page and to not have that shame, to not feel that way, to not think that way, and to know that God loves me. And I went through those things because I'm a strong individual and I'm supposed to help someone. He didn't put me through those things in vain. And I know that I haven't always made the right choices, but I know damn well that I'm a strong bitch. And I know that I can be there for anybody.
Speak on it.
You know, and right. And that was one of the things I needed and didn't have. You know, I needed somebody who had walked those same paths to have that conversation with me. A lot of those drug court counselors, a lot of your rehab, you know, people, they're reading out of a book. They've never been through anything. They've never had the experiences. They can tell you things, they can help you a little bit, but they don't really relate to you. You know, and I wanted someone that could relate to me, and I can relate. And so it took me a long time, y'all, but after so much time, I started looking at, you know, me being sexually assaulted, me being raped, me having those issues happen in my life, me, you know, I lost 2 children before I finally got pregnant. I dealt with child loss, you know, going to prison. I've dealt with that. My oldest son's father, he passed away. I found him dead on my living room floor on the day before my birthday. October 18th will be 10 years he's been gone. The abuse that I dealt with in that relationship. There's so many things that I was I just didn't understand why me.
Yeah.
You know? but you do get to a point where you get it a little bit. I still have questions for God, and I know that you're not supposed to question him. And I think that's easy said whenever you live a different type of life. But I do have some questions. I would like to know some reasoning, but in the grand scheme of things, I am so grateful for all of my experiences because I am a better person today because of it. I don't judge people. I was in the car with someone recently and we're passing some homeless people and they're being ugly about it. And I said, you know what I do when I pass somebody like that? I pray for them. And I started saying a prayer for them. I don't have that same type of view. I've been homeless. I walked around the West Bank with a backpack on my back. I slept on benches.
Oh my God. I'm about to cry.
I mean, I have been through so many things in my life. Who am I to judge the next person? I have dealt, with so much stuff that it makes me be a humbler individual. I got a sibling who's a nurse and she don't have a compassionate bone in her body, but she's never been through nothing,
Correct.
So I don't look at myself as a victim as much anymore as someone who is triumphant.
Yeah. You're not the victim anymore, sis.
No, not at all. And me today, I don't whoop those people's fucking ass.
Yeah. Whoop them.
So, so I look back on that young girl and I feel for her because you didn't even know what was going on,
Yeah.
But as I've said, I am grateful for the places I have gone and the things that I have been through. And I know that I'm supposed to help somebody. And I know that, I want to be the reason that I'm not perfect, but I want to be the reason that somebody looks at me and says, damn, Brittany was really bad out here. She was on the street. She was doing dope. She was, selling her body. She was doing all of these things for a drug. She wasn't taking care of her child. There's so many things. But goddamn, look at her now. She got her own place. She has a job. She's in a healthy relationship. She has beautiful children. I have never missed a day of my youngest son's life, and not to say that that's anything better than my oldest, but I made that commitment that I would never leave again. And today, me and my oldest, we have a better relationship than we've ever had, so, and I love him and he loves me and he knows where I come from. He knows where his father came from, and it hurts me that I put that on him because he has a father who died due to a drug overdose that he don't even remember. I had a father who died to drugs. My father was shot and killed behind stealing crack, so it's such a repetitive pattern. And I hate that for my child. Even with my youngest, his father's still out there on drugs. So we don't have a relationship with him whatsoever. And I hate that I've put those steps into place for my children.
Right.
But all you can do is show them that they don't have to live that way.
Yeah.
They will never go through the things that I had to go through. I will die behind that. I will die on that.
Come on.
So
come on,
business.
And I'm not stupid. You know what I'm saying? I know what's out there. The only thing that I do think is kind of shitty when it comes to living a life like I've lived is I do see the world very evilly. I see a lot of evil in the world because I've seen a lot of evil.
Yeah.
And so I do have to work on that. I'm a helicopter mom. I don't let my kids go a lot of places. I'm very nervous with things because I have seen a lot of evil. And so I am trying to relearn those types of things because there is a lot of good in this world and I have to learn how to look at those things. But yeah, it's been a journey. I mean, it started when I was 17, the heroin. The drug started at, 13, but the heroin started at 17. And I'm going to be 36 in a couple of days. So it has definitely been a journey. But there is an outcome, and that's really what I want people to know. There is an outcome. I have been lower than you could ever go. And today I'm not. My worst day sober is better than my best day loaded. Hands down.
Yes. Say that again for the people, Brittany.
My worst day sober is better than my best day loaded any day.
Yes.
Hands down. So I am grateful. And I do have a strong belief in my faith. I have seen God in my darkest times. And he has really helped me get out of some of those. I do think having faith and being able to pray and having that is very important. When I didn't have anybody else, when I was spending those nights alone in prison, when I couldn't talk to nobody, when there was no one there, my faith was. So regardless of what it is that you believe in, whatever that thing is, to have that, I think is very important. And to just put one foot in front of the other. You know, I made mistakes throughout my years being sober. I've fallen a couple of times and was like, damn, why did I do that? But the best thing for you to ever do is, if you fall, you pick yourself right the fuck back up. You don't sit in that. You don't sit in that depression. You don't sit in that fucking slumber and let
Dust
that shit
them shoulders the fuck off.
Dust them out. Don't let it consume you, because it will pull you right back down. If it happens, it happens. Get the fuck up and do it again. Tomorrow's day one.
Yep.
Come on.
Because life will change. If you just do the next positive thing in your life, it will change. And I don't give a fuck what that is. A lot of people have problems with, like, oh, this person's on Suboxone, this person's on this thing, this person takes this thing to help them get off things. I'm gonna be honest with you, I never took nothing. I really did do it cold turkey. In the past, I had taken Suboxone before, but it just wasn't something for me. However, if you're not a dope fiend on the street prostituting and selling your body for money and don't have a place to lay your head, if you're now taking Suboxone and you're in your own apartment and you have a 9-to-5 and you're doing a good, you're doing life, be proud of yourself.
Yes.
No,
maybe progress is progress.
A lot of people realize they want the progress to be big, but guess what? Small steps actually may be bigger than big progress. To be honest with you, and like the feeling, like when you're in that situation, I could just imagine that, like, those little small steps do count.
Absolutely, and I think people make others feel bad about the way that they're choosing their sobriety. But I think if you're making any positive direction in your sobriety whatsoever, congratulations, because you're doing better than you were yesterday.
Come on.
And so I think not being ashamed of yourself being an addict either, because I know even in my addiction, I was so ashamed. I didn't want to go around my grandparents. I didn't want to go around certain people for them to see me or see the marks on my arms or whatever. But don't be ashamed, because those same people that loved you before, they love you still. They just want you to be better, and you think that you're only hurting yourself, but you're hurting every person around you, because you're hurting that mom that gave you life. You're hurting that sister who looked up to you, or, whatever. You're hurting that same community of people, that same family that you have. You're hurting them because they're hurting because you're sick, and I don't know. I always say live out loud, and I truly mean that. I don't give a shit if you're a whore. Girl, screaming from the top of the rooftop. Like, I don't care. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you a drug addict, let them know.
Come on.
If
I'm fucking just be real.
Yes, whatever's going on in your life, let them know, because 9 times out of 10, there is somebody going through that exact same thing, and they just need somebody else to say, me too, girl. Mm-hmm. Me too, girl.
Well, that's like you said with you're embarrassed to go around your family, and I understand that, but my God, that's when you need that community of people.
Right. And I think that's when we really shut ourselves off. When we're at our worst and we're like, nobody look at me. But that's when you really need to be seen. Yeah. And I feel the same way about your struggles and stuff, because for a long time I couldn't talk about my rape. For a long time, anytime I would bring it up or even think about it, it would make me want to cry. I'd have all these emotions. And someone years ago, y'all, I was a teenager, but this lady, she told me one time, she said, I want you to keep saying it until it sounds like you're saying the weather. And that was one of the best things she could have told me, because I did. I said it so much that now I can say, hi, I'm Brittany, this happened, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's the weather, because I got that comfortable with it. I owned it that much, And there's so many people out here struggling. There's so many women out here that go through things with sexual things, you know what I'm saying? There's so many people out here that struggle with drug addiction. There's so many people that have so many similar issues. And really, when we're embarrassed, like I said, there's someone out there that's just waiting for you to say it, because they need that too.
They are. Because they're embarrassed to say it themselves.
Yes.
They need someone to say, bitch, I've been there.
Yes.
Because Brittany, I look at you now, and that's one reason I wanted to bring you on, is because I knew that you had been in some dark spots, but I see you flourishing in life right now.
Yeah.
I don't think back then, I don't want to speak for you, but I don't think you would have ever imagined that your life would be what it is right now.
No, absolutely not. I think especially after my mom got Bryson, I really just gave up. I really had convinced myself that he was better off without me. Um, you know, and I really did give up. I really fell into such a dark place. And I used to imagine the letters I would write my child when I took my life. So never did I ever think that I would get to be his actual mom, or get to, he's in seventh grade now, y'all, it's crazy. But get to go see him at junior high during football and he's in band and, all these things. I took him to the fair yesterday, spent the whole day with him and everything. Never would I have thought that that would be something that I could do or that my family would ever accept me again, and let me back in and with their good graces and stuff. Cause I did things, I did things to everybody. I wasn't a good person, and I can say that wholeheartedly. I just wasn't. But
that's past tense now. It's okay.
It is. It's past tense now, and I have worked really hard these last few years to, regain my trust, to regain so many different things. Because even in the beginning of my sobriety, my mama didn't let me take Bryson. She didn't trust that I was actually going to be sober. She didn't trust that I was going to continue, because I had been I did heroin for 10 years. So it took so much time to rebuild so many things.
Yeah.
And and all the people that I hurt, my child, everybody throughout that time. It's so much stuff that weighs on you when you finally do decide to get clean, and you have to face all of those emotions and those feelings completely raw. And it's a scary thing, and they say it takes like a year for your brain to get back to normal after you stop doing heroin and stuff like that. So it's a long road, and those first couple of years were hard. I will say every day that you do it, the easier it gets. If you just keep fucking pushing through, like as long as you don't use this minute or this hour or, keep pushing through, just push through minute by minute. Sometimes that's literally what you have to do. But I promise you, if you just continue to put that best foot forward and to just stay sober, just do not use. As long as you do not use, the days get easier, the time gets easier, and then you do start flipping that attitude. You're not feeling depressed and shameful and all of those things anymore. You're starting to feel proud. You're starting to feel like you can conquer this. You've got that, that oomph in you now. You can do this and all the things that you're looking forward to. I know a big thing for people in addiction is we future trip, kind of like what BB was saying earlier. We want this big thing all at once because I need all of that. But little things at a time, guys. Like it took me years to lose my child. It took me years to lose my home. It took me years to lose my family. It's not going to take me a month to get it all back. It's going to take me years to get that back as well. So just giving yourself a little bit of grace and knowing, like, I know, like, with a lot of women, it's with getting their children. You're not going to get your kid back next week, but you might get them back next year. But you have to keep that foot, you know what I mean? You have to keep doing the positive things because it's fucking worth it. It's so worth it. It's so worth it to be on this side. I have money to buy things. I go buy, like, clothes and decorations.
Come on,
and
money.
you know what I'm saying? All the money. But, you do realize some different. And I got some friends who I've, been with throughout their sobriety and stuff, and I see them flourish. And all the good that they're doing in their life. And there's just so much that you can do. And it just saddens me because I've also seen a lot of people pass away from it.
Yeah, I was thinking that just now, like you had to.
I did. A lot of people that I went to school with, my baby daddy, so many different people, people who I really love. And I'm sad for them because they never got to see this side, and it was so obtainable.
Man,
I don't know. I always feel like no matter how deep you're in it, like I said, I was on heroin for 10 years. I was on drugs since fucking 13 years old, 12, 13 years old. And I got clean. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing it. I don't give a shit if you're 45 years old, 50 years old. If you want to get sober, get sober. You can do it. And everybody does it differently. Some people really hang on to AA or NA or CA or whatever it is they float your boat. They get sponsors, you know, and different things like that. If that doesn't work for you, there's other avenues. I was never an AA type of person. There's literally so many other avenues that you can go down. It doesn't all have to be the same. Everybody's sobriety journey, everybody's addiction journey is different. And you know, just give yourself that grace and just know that you can be better. You can be everything that you think you want to be when you're having those moments of sadness and you're thinking of all the things wrong in your life. All those things that you want right, it can be there, and you can be at that point in your life. You just have to keep pushing forward and just have the faith that it's going to turn around, because it really does.
Yes.
Jeez. Brittany, I got a quick question.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted to ask you about this already because I feel like there's such a misconception about it. But then when you started talking, I was like, no, I definitely need to ask her about this.
Okay.
When you said, I got sick and then I took some old heroin and then I was magically better. And
Yeah.
then when you went on and you said, I locked myself in my room for 2 weeks and detoxed on my own. Can you please, because I feel like there are so many people who don't realize it's not just this. It's not just
physical.
saying, correct. It's not just saying, I will no longer do drugs. There is an aspect of the mentality. But I can you please speak and explain to people what withdrawal actually looks like? So for anyone who doesn't know, when you stop taking a hard drug, because when we say addiction, we don't just mean like your body becomes physically dependent upon the drug. And so when you heard her say, when I stopped taking the drug, I got sick. But then when I took the drug again, the sickness went away. I think people really don't understand that your body literally says, either you give me the drug or I'm going to fuck you up.
Yes.
Can you just talk about what withdrawal truly looks like? And look, I know it's uncomfortable. So whatever you're comfortable with, be as raw as you're comfortable, because I think people really don't get it.
Yeah. So I think it's funny when people are like, just stop. When it comes to certain drugs, that is a choice. You can just stop. But when it comes to other drugs, you can't. Certain drugs you become physically dependent on. It's not just a mental thing. Like, yes, you do have to be mentally strong to even want to stop in the first place.
Yeah, there's a mental aspect to it, of course. But...
Right, of course. But you also have to take in consideration all the shit that's about to happen to your body. So scientifically speaking, your brain is going to save itself. It'll kill all of this off, but it's going to save it. Okay. And it's the same way with addiction. Your brain, you have altered your brain chemicals in such a way that it is not normal anymore. One of the craziest things they used to tell us at rehab is like, whenever you do heroin, okay, like, so this is your threshold. When you do something fun, you know, it goes up to like your threshold or whatever, like your adrenaline threshold or whatever. So if you jump out of a plane, it might meet it. If you have a baby, it'll meet it. If you do all these things, it'll meet it. When you do heroin, you bring it up to here. It's not a natural way of doing things. So when you get clean, if you jump out of a plane, you're no longer going to meet this. You're going to be like, here, that's okay. Have a baby, that's okay. Because your body wants to go here.
Like,
and you're never going to get there again.
Yeah.
So you don't, it takes, like I said, it takes like a year for your brain to get back to normal. But your brain is craving that drug. Your brain wants that drug more than anything else in this world. Your brain wants it more than food, more than water, more than anything. Your body wants that drug. So the first time I really detoxed, y'all, 11/11/11, I got arrested for the first time, caught my first felony. It was felony possession of heroin. And I went to OPP. And this is way back in the day, like I said, 2011, and they didn't have, they still suck, but they didn't have nothing going on back then. So literally, if you were detoxing, they would give you a little pill bottle full of Pepto-Bismol and some blue cramping pills and send you on about your business. So I really had to detox for the very first time in that jail. Mind you, it was 5 of us to a cell, 3 of us was on the floor. That's a whole nother story, but it was very uncomfortable. And just a horrible place to even have to go through that. I didn't know what to expect at first, you know. So
with detoxing, you mean?
Right, I did,
Okay.
because I was a good dope fiend. I was getting loaded every day. So when I got myself put in this position for the first time, I was like, well, I don't even know what's gonna come, you know. So let me just wait and see. So I'll explain it to you. So that very first night, this was my first detox, not my last. There was so many more in between, but this was the first one. But some people throw up a lot and some people use the bathroom a lot. When I say use the bathroom, I mean diarrhea.
Real bad.
I was a puker. So the first day, I would say after I used it, that very next day, I didn't have any, and this was gonna be my first day of not using. My muscles started to contract like
From
this.
one day of not using.
Oh my god.
So not just your muscles, like
I just got chills because like I didn't think you were gonna say that. I thought this took like time.
No, it was like the next day. You have to use every single day. We would use in the morning when we woke up. We would use midday, use in the evening, before you go to sleep. And then by the time you wake up in the morning, depending on when's the last time you used that evening, you'd be sick again in the morning. So it was like the next day, maybe lunchtime. And I started just my skin, like when you have the flu and when you touch your skin and it's very, very sensitive, my skin started feeling like that. And I was very nauseous. And then my muscles, when I tell you from the top of your head to the bottom of your fucking feet, your muscles, even in my private areas, y'all, it was like just constantly contracting. And it was so uncomfortable. It made you like, your whole body would just squeeze. And then I started puking. I threw up so much. I don't even understand how I was able to throw up as much as I was. And to the
Like,
point where I started,
from, right?
where was it? Because I wasn't eating. I would drink 2 sips of water and puke 10 times. Like you couldn't keep nothing down. I was throwing up so much to where I actually started throwing up blood. And that's when I went to the medical and they gave me the Pepto with the blue pills. That's what happened. But yes. So thank God I was only there for about 4 days and my grandpa came bonding me out and I got to go to Odyssey House for the first time. And so that happened like that. But then there were so many more detoxes in between. But yes, it's excruciating. It's not just like, oh, I don't feel good, I'm gonna go take a nap. It is, you're sensitive as fuck. Your whole body feels like you have the flu. Everything that touches you hurts. And I mean everything. It's not just the parts you can see. You are either having extreme diarrhea or extreme vomiting or both. You cannot take a few sips of water without having to throw up multiple times. Your muscles are contracting all over the place. I couldn't see. My vision started getting fucked up. I could not read the numbers on my wristband at the jail, like to use the telephone and stuff. My vision was so blurry. It was really bad. It was bad to the point where when I did get bonded out, it was like 2:00 in the morning. I had to go home just to wait for Odyssey House to open the next morning. Odyssey is a place in New Orleans that does detox and rehabilitation.
Okay, gotcha.
It's one of the many. But I had to wait till they opened, like 8 o'clock in the morning. So I had like a 4-hour period where I had to go home and I could not bathe myself. My mama had to bathe me in the shower. I could not put my clothes on. I was so weak from not eating, from constantly throwing up, from my body just being so worn down. My mama had to dress me. Like, it was bad. When I first got to Odyssey House and started with detox, I was there for about 2 days and this nurse woke me up and she was pitching my hand like this. And she had 2 red Gatorades and she said, if you don't drink these 2 red Gatorades, I'm taking you to the hospital. And so I downed them both, thank God. But that's how fucking sick I was. That's how sick I was. It's horrendous. Like I said, you will literally do anything in the world to get, because all I would have had to do is go spend like $30, $40, give me a little bit of dope, and I would have felt just like this. Just like this.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, I was gonna say, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is why it's so hard, because you go through this process, and y'all keep in mind, this is not a 24-hour thing. It doesn't last 24 hours and then it's done. So you're going through that, and at any moment, if I take one little bump, one little injection, the tiniest amount, and your body's like, oh, we got what we needed, we good now, I'll leave you the fuck alone. Like, your body literally turns into self-destruction and says, you gonna give me what the fuck I want, or I'm about to fuck your ass
and
up.
that's why a lot of people resort back to drug addiction, because it's just so easy, just a little, like you mentioned, a little ounce, and then you back to normal. So a lot of people, the process of like sobering up or detoxing is extremely hard. So
It is. And you have to have that mental strength to try to push through it, but you're also fighting against that physical reaction that you're having to that, not having that drug. And it is such a small amount of the drug that can heal you. It's fucking crazy. But in a detox like that, as sick as I was, you would think that I would need like a whole shot of dope. I need as much salt as you put on your potatoes. You hear me? Like, it's not that much. It's not much. Like, it's just enough.
And then you start right back over.
And you start feeling, perfectly fine again. And then as the time wears down, obviously if you do more, it lasts longer. But as the time wears down, that's when you start feeling kind of, I need to, do it again. And then you do it again. So and that's what it is. I had a job. I worked at a certain part throughout my addiction. In the beginning of it, I would go in the bathroom and shoot up and go right back to work. Nobody ever knew. I was normal. I wasn't a person who walked around like this or fell asleep when I was standing up or, anything like that. I was normal Brittany. I just needed this drug to not be sick. And that's what it turns into. In the beginning, it's, I want to use this because it makes me feel better. But in the end, and in that addiction, it's just, I'm using this because I don't want to be sick. I don't even feel fucking loaded anymore. I'm just normal when I take it. So it is like that. And then you have that fear, like if I stop doing it, that's why people turn to Suboxone instead of going, getting clean, full, like completely, because they're scared. They're scared of that pain. They're scared of all those things that are going to happen. They're scared of how their brain is going to react, because it does. I remember the first couple weeks I was clean, taking, like, when you take hot showers, your veins will pop out. And they become very pronounced when you're detoxing. So I would take showers and I would rub across my veins and my mouth would water, because I so badly wanted to do that drug. And my body so badly wanted it. It was even making my veins pop out of me, from
like
that
popping
that
out,
warm
just
water.
saying, here, put a needle. Like, I'm popping it out for you right now. Just put the needle in.
I swear.
That is fucking insane to think about.
It is. And now to this day, I don't like getting my blood taken. And it's not because of the needle. It's after the fact. I had blood taken recently a couple weeks ago, and I said it probably 5 or 6 times after the fact. When you take that bandage off and you have that dot, I can't look at my arm because it just disgusts the fuck out of me. And I know that I'm not doing drugs, but just the sight of even that dot from them taking my blood. Yeah, it's just... it's like, oh, that's so gross. I don't even want to look at that, but it definitely is. It takes a lot of time. And like I said, some people, I was in rehab one time with this lady. She was clean for like 30 years and then she fucked up and she was back in rehab. And, so I always tell people, like, things happen, shit happens. As long as you pick yourself back up and you continue, you're going to be fucking fine. Just don't let yourself sit in that and wallow in that and bring yourself down even more in that. Things happen. Look, I had to turn myself into jails before. There's so many scary things in the world. You know what I mean? But if you just fucking rip the Band-Aid off and do it, it gets so much better. It gets so much better.
I promise y'all, I see Brittany told me that story. I said, huh? And I just now, like she said, she lives over there. Are you still in the West Bank area, right?
No, we moved. I moved when Legend was about 5 months. My youngest son is Legend. He's going to be 7 in January. But we moved over here when he was about 5 months old. So I've been back in Slidell because when I was a kid, I only lived over here for about
Oh, you're in Slidell.
2 years.
Yes. Okay.
And then we moved back. But I left when I think I was 16. I left. But then my mom left too. She went back to the West Bank too. And then she moved back over here when Legend was first born. And I just follow her because she has Bryson, so I go where she goes. So
yeah, I promise y'all, like, I see Brittany's life now, and every time, Brittany, it never fails. Every time I see a post with you and Bryson or Legend, every time I see you posting at a restaurant with them, eating a nice meal together, every time I see you at the beach with them, the only thing I can think about is she could have never imagined that her life would be like it is right now.
No.
And I know that. And I'm just like, my God, how inspiring.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of her.
Sure. You should
Brittany, you should be. Because the world does try to put shame on you, right? But we've all got things. It just wasn't drugs for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
absolutely. Even like one side of my family is very wealthy.
Mhm.
And nobody's ever been in trouble, nobody's ever done all of these things. But I even look at some of those types of people and I'm like, yeah, well, but you drink all the time, or there's other things that are happening in your life. You're just not like I was, and I don't want no one to ever be like I was. I
Correct.
don't wish that for anybody, especially my family members. But yeah, I
It
mean,
don't
it
make you
doesn't matter.
better.
It doesn't matter if you're poor. It doesn't matter if you're middle class. It doesn't matter if you're rich. It doesn't matter, what it is. Some people drink. Some people do drugs. Some people are addicted to sex. Some people are addicted to gambling. I mean, there's so many things that people hide behind closed doors because, we have this feeling of like, oh, I don't want to tell people because I'm ashamed and all these things. When that's not necessarily always the case. I feel like when I talk about some of my background, people realize that, oh, I wasn't just a junkie. You know what I mean? I wasn't just some junkie out here on the street. I actually come from this and I've gone through these things and I have this life. I don't know. I think that even like in the police department and things like that, they really look at a drug addict as something to not worry about and not care about. But we are all the same people. We all come from the same types of, backgrounds and relationships and areas, and there's so much that we have in common. I think we should look at that more often than all the things we have not in common. I'm not like a lot of people that I'm around all the time. I'm different. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't make you any less better or me any less worse.
Right. And just a quick question, like if we know like someone that is like struggling with addiction, what advice would you give someone to support someone that's struggling with addiction?
Well, I do always say a person will not get clean unless they're ready to get clean. You can force things onto someone because you want them to be sober, but until that person is ready to be sober, nothing's gonna work. It has to be something that they want personally, and then absolutely help them with that. But I'll be the first one to say I'm a stubborn bitch, and so it didn't matter what my mom did.
Stubborn?
Me, yeah. But it didn't matter what my mom did or what the court system did. I mean, I was on drug court for a while in Orleans Parish. And so I was on drug court for a while. And I would go to court on Fridays and he would say, well, what you gonna fail for today, Brittany? And I took a 5-panel test. And I say everything but meth because I don't do meth. But I never, I was a bold bitch. I always was, I'm gonna do what I want to do. It don't matter if the judge tells me not to. It don't matter if a probation officer tells me not to, a parole officer tells me, I'm gonna fucking do it if I want to do it. And you try so hard to make somebody get the help that they need, but unless they want it, and until I wanted to be sober, nobody on this fucking earth could have got me sober. It's something that I had to want on the inside of myself. Now, if you know somebody who does want to get sober, there's a lot of different, ways for you to help them. I don't know where you're located, but like in the New Orleans area is what I know about, and even some of St. Tammany. But there are so many different detox centers and rehab facilities. There are so many different places that you can go for free. There is so many different NA, AA, CA classes, and those are all, AA is Alcoholics Anonymous, but there is CA, which is Cocaine Anonymous. There's NA, which is Narcotics Anonymous. There's so many different places that you could go. You don't even have to talk. You can just go and sit, and listen. They give you free coffee and shit, just go sit.
Come on,
listen,
I love coffee.
See if it's something that you're interested in, But if you have somebody in your community that wants to get sober, wants to be clean, help them with that process. If they don't want to get sober yet, if they're not ready to be clean yet, you can still love an addict without enabling them. You don't have to do for that person. I'm not going to give you any money, but if you're hungry, I'll buy you some food. I'm not going to give you any money, but if you need me to wash your clothes, I got you.
Yeah. I'm going to let you know you still ain't worthless.
Yeah.
Right. You can still love an addict and not enable them. You get food stamps, go buy your friend some groceries. Don't mean you got to put money in her pocket. You know what I'm saying? But you can definitely do that. So just let it, as long as they know they have someone, as long as they know they have one person That's it. Because when it all turns and they're in a better place, they're going to remember that. You know, this was that one
Yeah.
person that stuck by me and helped me, even when I wasn't helping myself.
Girl, I tell you what, I think this is a good place to segue and kind of start transitioning out of this segment. But I do want to say, Brittany, for anyone who's watching, for anyone who's listening, what would you say if you had to give, as they say in the corporate world, an elevator pitch, a 60-second, or it doesn't have to be 60 seconds, but just a short, this is the biggest takeaway that I want anyone watching and listening to remember from what I just talked about, what would you tell them?
The biggest takeaway that I would want anyone who watched this to remember is you're not alone.
Yeah.
You're not the only person out here that struggles. You're not the only person out here that has addiction. You're not the only person out here that has gone through the things you've gone through. If you think that you're, rock bottom and there's no way up, there is. You're not alone. And there's so many people in the community that can help and will help and be happy to help. And I always tell everyone this, but you can always reach out to me. I know that even if you don't live in this area, I know that you see somebody on your Facebook or on TikTok or on Twitter or on something that is talking about addiction. You can reach out to them. I promise you that they want to hear you. Don't ever feel like you're being a burden. You're not. If somebody truly loves you and they truly want the best for you, they'll listen to you on that phone for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
You're not alone. And don't ever think that you are. Your kids are never better off without you.
Oh,
Your family is never better off without you. No matter how bad it gets, you can do this. You
Speak
can
it,
do
Brittany.
this.
Oh my gosh. Y'all, Brittany, thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah.
I know that that's vulnerable. And I love that you said that they told you with your traumas, especially, like, you need to go talk about it until it feels like you're just talking about the weather.
Yeah.
Because that's what I promise you. Like, anytime you go through traumatic shit like that, there are so many people who experience the same thing, but no one talks about it.
Yes.
No one wants to
And
talk about it.
It's sad because, it does suck that so many people experience the same things, especially the
Yeah.
traumas. I mean, it
Yeah.
does suck. I'm sorry that you had to go through that. I'm sorry that I had to go through it. But it doesn't have to define you. It doesn't
Come on.
have to define the whole rest of your life. That man who touched me didn't fucking define me. The drugs that I did didn't fucking define me. What I have done after the fact is what I will leave as my legacy.
Mhm.
It won't be all the bad that I did wrong.
I'm looking for the collection plate because I thought we was in church the way she was just speaking fast just now.
Yes.
My God, my
Yes.
God. Girl, Brittany, thank you so much. Everybody, we have come into the next segment of the show called Disrespectfully, Bitch. Y'all, the show is called Disrespectfully to Girls. Did y'all think we was going to get away without reading a bitch down first, without being a little bit disrespectful? Brittany, just in case you don't know, we like to do this segment every week because, girl, these two punks and sissies like to throw a little bit of shade. And so, BB, I'll let you start first and set the example. And I want to just hear something that has pissed you to fuck off. And I guess in the essence of time, maybe just take 5 minutes or less and telling me what pissed you off and then reading it down.
So I need the Louisiana State Police, whoever that officer involved in Kyron Lacey's case, to come forward. I need any of you motherfuckers that was on social media bashing this young athlete that had so much potential that unfortunately underlined himself due to y'all motherfuckers out there that don't know the whole story. So
Facts.
So more of the story is that there was this LSU athlete. He was from near my hometown. He was kind of entering the NFL draft, but he got accused of vehicular homicide. But motherfuckers didn't know the entire story. So recently, yesterday, his attorney basically spun nothing but facts, saying that he was like a football field away from the accident. So how did he motherfucking cause the accident if he was over a football field and there's video surveillance of it? And you motherfucking state trooper, you motherfucking Larry Lobster looking ass bitch, you motherfucking squirrel looking motherfucker, and your wife look like a fucking man. Had so much to say to like basically just persuade people to write what they wanted on this fucking statement instead of the facts. The man said he didn't cause the accident. This bitch that was behind the veteran caused the fucking accident. So before, people are so quick to be judgmental and know it all without the fucking facts. So that's what pissed me off. So y'all motherfuckers, fuck y'all. Disrespectfully, bitch.
Disrespectfully, bitch. Because the bitch, you know, I'll just say this real quick, even though it ain't part of my disrespectfully, bitch. I'll get into the details on a different episode, but I have been in the place where, bitch, the facts can look like you guilty all day long. And I'll just say this. Brittany knows what I'm talking about because she was low-key in there. For every motherfucker who was actually a victim of the true perpetrator, if I was them, I would have thought I was a fucking perpetrator in the situation too.
Yep.
And when I tell you social media is a motherfucker,
yes.
People, the media, listen, just because you see some shit and just because they look guilty to you does not fucking mean you guilty, bitch.
And
because everybody was reading that fucking young man down, talking about he was a drug user, he had to be high. Oh, they go start playing football and they turn into this, that. Now they think they untouchable. The man wasn't even involved.
Because guess what?
Nope.
Because guess what?
And killed himself the day before court because he was facing life in prison.
And guess what? Crime don't have a motherfucking face. True crime don't have a motherfucking face.
Nor color.
It comes in shades
nor
color.
color.
Because guess what? The motherfuckers that was on social media got more skeletons than what they fucking talking about.
That's why they pointing out everybody else's issues because they don't want them to look at them.
Every time. And he meant that disrespectfully, bitch. You know, I said every motherfucker who publicly shamed this man and pushed him into a corner of feeling there was no way out of this, every one of them better come forward and give a public apology. Every cop, because they have the body cam footage now that was released where the cop is telling the man, so what we need you to write in your statement is that the green Charger was coming in your lane and you had to swerve because the green Charger had nothing to do with it.
Matter of fact, he didn't turn the body cam on until like 5-6 minutes into the conversation with each person he talked to. But they're not talking about that.
No, they targeted that young man because he had a bright future.
Of course.
That's all that was. They seen that he was in the line of cars and was like, that's the one we're going to put it on because
correct.
With this beautiful, bright future. Because from day one, they said he never hit that vehicle.
From day one. Girl, I'm gonna be quiet because I'll go on for the next 45 minutes about this, but fuck everybody who has something negative to say about that young man because now he's not here. And now what?
And
now what? His family cleared his name, and at most they'll get a fat check, which I hope they get a fucking $100 billion from whoever the fuck for that. But nothing's gonna bring their child back, their brother back, their uncle, but whatever, right? It's just fucking sad, and I just wish you bitches would shut the fuck up unless you actually know what's going on.
Facts.
That's all. Brittany, what done pissed you the fuck off, bitch? I want to hear your disrespectfully.
I feel like you're not gonna like mine because it involves somebody that you really like.
Who?
So what's been going on in the media lately with these two females? You already know which one I'm talking about.
Oh, Cardi and Nicki, girl, talk about it. Say what you want to say, girl.
What the fuck is wrong with Nicki? I know that's your baby and everything, but
that is my baby.
She needs some fucking counseling. How you come out here talking about that woman's children? And then you want to get mad when Cardi said that's why your son's favorite color is 5. But baby, you are talking about this girl's children.
Yes. Did. No.
I already said I don't think you was gonna like it because I know how much you love her.
Yo disrespectfully, bitch, is yo disrespectfully, bitch.
But Jesus, I think somebody close to her really needs to lock her ass up. I don't know if she needs rehab counseling or what, but what the fuck? I just have no understanding. I really don't have no understanding. And Cardi's so fucking funny with the bullshit. I mean, everything she put out just makes me laugh. But I think Nicki is losing it, y'all.
But also, like, if you like you think her husband gonna help? All the skeletons that he have? So really,
No, he's not about to help nothing. He about to sit back and swipe her card some more while she just flash out on lives.
it's literally like giving. I don't know.
I'm gonna let y'all talk before I stand 10 toes down for my girl. But go ahead,
Look,
get
you
y'all
seen
stuff
Destin's
out.
face
Get it
was
out.
like-
Get it out.
But no, like in the rap industry, like if you come for someone's child, they're gonna come for yours. Period. Point.
I know, but I don't think he's gonna support her whatsoever because he already knows that they'll just tear him the fuck apart.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But I feel bad for her because I really think something's wrong with her, Destin. I really think that your girl is.
I don't think nothing wrong with her, if I'm being honest.
I don't know
you.
if it's the
I think
stuff everybody keeps saying she on or what.
That's what they say, but I don't think it's true. I think that here's what I'm gonna say. This is my take on the situation.
Let me hear it.
Now, is there biases? Probably with what I'm about to say, but I feel like this is true, and I'm just gonna say it, and I'm gonna stand 10 toes down on it. Okay, I feel like Nikki never starts it. I feel like
I knew he was about to say that. I feel like they get mad because they throwing rocks at her constantly. That's cutting her the fuck up. They hitting her in the face with rock. But when she throw a brick, they get fucking. Oh, you took it too far. Nah, fuck you, hoe.
Okay, well, what did Cardi do this time for her to come out the woodwork?
Cardi talked about her kids in the past already too. Cardi talked about her kids.
How long ago it was?
Listen. I'm gonna keep it real with you and say I have not kept up with it in this recent battle because it is a war with them too. And the reason is I've seen all the like screenshots, but I haven't looked at everything because it is so fucking much to keep up with. I'm like, hold up, I don't got time to keep up with all the back and forth.
It's a lot.
But I will say, I think my girl knows that she said some fucked up shit, but I think she said it out of self-defense. But I saw she apologized, and then I saw Cardi was like, fuck your apology, bitch. Because of, they both said fucked up shit, right? I guess she's just heavy on, I don't know if you know who Eric Mays is, but in the words of Eric Mays, when they go low, I go lower.
Well,
is
Cardi
what I think
Nikki's
Nikki's
gonna
on.
take the house.
So look, at the end of the day, I'm gonna always rock with my girl, and I hope we get another good ass album out of all this anger and frustration.
And also, hopefully,
I hope so too. For y'all
she support disrespectfully the girls.
Look, Nicki Minaj, if you're listening, what you doing? If you don't follow and watch disrespectfully the girls, what you doing? This is the perfect platform for you to come on and be a little bit disrespectful.
Exactly.
Bitch.
And Cardi B, you can stay off of Twitter and just go watch. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Spotify instead of like just responding. You can respond by giving us a 5-star liking. That's what you can do.
Yeah.
Put all that anger and frustration into talking about disrespectfully the girls to everybody. Motherfucking bitch. I'm weak as hell. Y'all, my disrespectfully bitch. We like to keep things on brand sometimes with the episode. So I'm going to do that this time, okay? My disrespectfully bitch is gonna go out to anybody who looks and turns their motherfucking nose up to somebody just because they on drugs or anything in that situation. Like how you said you was passing that homeless person and somebody got something to say. I always revert back to one specific scenario in my mind, which was not that long ago. I was at work and I was on the way back from I was in a car with coworkers. That's what I'm going to say. I'm in a vehicle with coworkers. We're coming back to Baton Rouge and we're in the downtown area. And girl, they had, I'm just going to call a spade a spade. Was the man a crackhead? He probably was. Okay. So they had this man who's obviously homeless. He's probably currently on some form of drug in the moment, like impaired on something. And he's breakdancing in the middle of the street for $1 bill. Now listen to me. Was his breakdancing funny? Hell yeah. Okay. But the way that one of these coworkers in the car opened their mouth and was like, this is fucking ridiculous, fucking crackheads, like, and just went on this tangent. And I'm just like, pause. But no, so we're in the car. The coworker says this fucked up shit. And I'm like, you don't know them. That person could literally just be fighting to stay alive the next day to even work on getting sober.
Also, crackheads are awesome.
Come on.
I mean, they really
You know-
are. A crackhead done hooked up my cable. A crackhead will fix your car. A crackhead will get. I mean, crackheads are awesome. They will make
Multifaceted,
the
girl.
neighborhood go round.
Yes.
Multifaceted. They're actually and they do it for the cheap because they just want some
do.
drugs, and so they're giving back to
We
their
used to
community.
get so much. We used to
Absolutely.
get so much household
And they're usually the
supplies.
nicest people, y'all.
Wait,
I
what
said
you
we
said?
used to
B?
get household
I said they
supplies for the.
Get out my
Look.
camera. I said
Come
they're
on.
usually the nicest people too. I swear.
Look. And here's what I'll say lastly in my little read to them. Y'all be so worried about crackheads and y'all be so worried. And let me just not call everybody a crackhead. I feel like that's kind of disrespectful. Let's just say anyone who's addicted to any type of hard drug, right? Y'all look at people like Brittany, because y'all would have looked at her just like you looked at what that man said about that man
Yep.
breakdancing in the street. And I need y'all to understand, if you did not hear her story just now and realize how truly it's not just, oh, let me just stop doing drugs. It is not that simple. Half of you, actually, let's be real, not half. In America, it's more than half. Y'all think someone like Brittany should have just put down the heroin and just make a decision when y'all can't even make a decision to put down the cheeseburgers because you're 600 fucking pounds.
Yep.
If y'all can't even put down the fucking beer, they got your your belly's all fucking swolled out. And if y'all can't even put down the cheeseburger and fries to lose a little weight, how dare you look at someone and expect them to put down something like heroin?
Yes.
If you can't even put down a cheeseburger, which has no withdrawal process or anything like that, how dare you think that they're just going to be able to just throw down the hard drugs like it's nothing?
Facts.
So as soon as you're ready to get yourself together, then you can come talk to me about that. Maybe.
Absolutely.
And I'm still gonna windmill behind my people because I know that they fought to get here. Because Brittany, I know you fought to be where you at, girl. You didn't just wake up one day and now you have a life that's flourishing.
Absolutely.
You scratched and clawed your way to where you're at right now.
Yes.
And I will say this, I don't want to speak for you, but as you were on hard shit for a long time, I feel like mentally you probably will be scratching and clawing to remain in this flourishing life, because it's probably look, I don't want to misspeak. I listen to this podcast therapist all the time, and he says this quote frequently to people who call in about their children on drugs or whatever the case may be. He says, I need you to understand the reason that they really get into it at first is because the drugs fucking work.
Yes.
And I heard you mention something similar earlier, which was like, okay, she agrees with that, because whatever it is, it takes it away. You don't have to feel, you don't have to think. And I've thought this before. When you see somebody on the street and they're probably there due to drugs, when you see them in that situation, I can only imagine. I think this all the time. I don't want to sound crazy. How good that shit gotta feel to have you living like that over it. You said yourself, I took it was the best feeling I ever felt in my whole fucking life.
Yep.
And I said, my God. So people don't just wake up and decide, I'm just going to throw my life away. Okay. That's not a decision that people wake up and consciously make. And I just need y'all to have just a tiny bit more fucking empathy. And again, you can't come for nobody on drugs if you can't even put down a cheeseburger, if you can't stop gambling when you get to a certain number of loss at the casino, if you can't turn off the porn video without going fucking insane, if you can't go one day without fucking sex without beating on your wife. If you can't do that shit, you can't come to nobody about nothing about some hard drugs.
Amen.
And I meant that disrespectfully.
No, that's
bitch.
right.
My God, Brittany, girl, y'all, everyone listening, we have come to the end of the show. Oh my gosh, if you have listened this 4 hour and a half to these two punks and sissies and this badass girl I know named Brittany, if you have listened to us in entirety, thank you so much. And once again, please follow, like, subscribe, comment, whatever. Look, if there's a platform, we're probably on it. So please make sure you follow us. I follow him on TikTok. Okay, that's beautiful. Go follow us on YouTube as well, please, or subscribe, whatever the word is for YouTube. Every single platform, go follow us. And Brittany, the girls, thank you so much for coming on. We said it already. I know this was vulnerable. I know that it's easier for you to talk about this stuff now, but you have a story to tell and so many people need to hear it. And this can't be the last time you tell it. You need to keep telling yours. There's so many people who will benefit from seeing that you can come out on the other side of this bullshit.
Yes.
Well, I really thank
So-
y'all for letting me have the moment today and to talk about this kind of stuff. It really does. It does help me a lot to be able to talk to people and to have those conversations and to bring light onto the whole subject, because I don't think a lot of people do know a lot about it. And if you don't have somebody currently close to you that's in addiction, and you think, oh, that'll never happen to me, I just want to give you another kind of thought, because it happens to anybody. When I was going to those meetings, I was in there with doctors, I was in there with nurses.
Come on.
Get their nursing license back because they were taking medicine from the hospitals. There's so many different walks of life that go through these types of things. And I just really want people to know that you're not alone and there is a safe place for you. You just got to find it.
Yes.
You do. Everybody, thank y'all so much. We love you. We thank you for listening and watching. And,
Wait.
we
Hold
will
up.
see y'all. What?
Bitch. Sometimes you just got to be disrespectful.
I'm weak as fuck. Y'all heard him. Sometimes, bitch, you just gotta be disrespectful.
That's
Thank
right.
y'all. We'll see y'all next week.